Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pearls of Wisdom with Nirmal Bang. I'm Ava Andabash. From the lab to the kitchen, and now straight to your home. Borosil is a name that has become synonymous with quality, innovation, and trust. It started out in 1962 as a pioneering brand in glassware and now has transformed into a consumer powerhouse. It offers everything from elegant glass tumblers to flame-proof kitchenware and even solar glass solutions. Let's then today welcome the man who is at the helm of it all. Shrivar Kheruka, who's the Managing Director and CEO of Borosil Limited. He will be talking about the company's growth strategy as well as what the outlook is on their retail expansion and how exactly the brand is riding the wave of the anti-plastic revolution that's taken over the country. Thank you so much for taking time out and joining in. An iconic brand, and the history has spanned over 6 decades. So, what do you think has been key in staying ahead in such a competitive environment?
Well, I think as you mentioned, the brand's been built over decades of very hard work, and I think the first and foremost important thing for any brand is to have a product that lives up to the promise. Because no amount of marketing, advertising that you do can compensate for a bad product. So I think the first and foremost thing, we have a very passionate team that has really, over these decades, focused on product attributes, customer needs, and try to deliver what the customer needs, every time consistently. And what's more is that if there's a problem, as sometimes they are, standing behind the product and ensuring that customers are satisfied after making due changes. So I think standing behind the product, developing new products, these are the main reasons for the growth of the brand or of any brand, but specifically for Borosil for sure.
Sure, and while Borosil is the leader in glass kitchenware, there is also competition in plastic and steel manufacturing. So, how do you expect to maintain your edge?
So just to be clear, I mean we are beyond glass, so we also have a lot of steel products because and this is coming to the point you said, how do we stay ahead of competition? I think customer insighting is very important, and what we do find is that customers, their needs are changing. More double income households, people on the go a lot. Not enough time to cook in the kitchen, or spend rather hours in the kitchen cooking as maybe our parents or grandparents would have done. So people need smarter products. They want healthier products. They want environmentally friendly products, and therefore glass is a perfect material for that, as is steel for that matter. Because some things you can't do with glass and that you can do with steel. We avoid plastics because plastics are not so good for the environment, harder to recycle. Plus also many plastics are highly carcinogenic, at least the cheaper ones that you see commonly available in the market. So therefore we want to give a brand promise that it's a good looking product, it's a healthy for you and good for the environment product. So those are things that we're trying to drive at. But how do we drive at it is by understanding customer needs, seeing how people are changing lifestyles, and then giving them products that are force multipliers, that they're able to do multiple things with. So you can, for example, cook in it as well as serve in it as well as store in it. You can take it on the go without fear of breakage. It can keep your water hot or cold for 24 hours. So the multiple applications for different products, which make your life easier. And it's like a friend, who helps you move, because these are not, you're not thinking about food, you're thinking about what you need to do for the day. The food energizes you to get through the day. So we want to be there and help you in that process.
And at the same time, you've spoken about constant innovation, a formula for staying ahead. Can you tell us what's in the pipeline, what innovation we can expect from Borosil?
Well, innovation comes, the way we are set up, it's bottom up. So it's hard for me to say what's the next big innovation that we will have, principally because the innovation is happening every day and we never know. I'll give you an example to kind of clarify this point. We came up with a glass lunchbox, and actually it was a very bottom up, driven process. We had these glass containers where which we were selling fairly well, and then one of the marketing people, fairly junior level marketing people, came up and said, hey, what if we have a glass lunchbox? And everyone looked around and said, but what's who's going to carry a glass lunchbox? it'll break, it's heavy, and so on. Steel and plastic are the preferred alternatives. But he was quite clear, if I remember, that look, there's microwaves in the kitchen, sorry, in the office, and when people have food, they want to heat the food, which is not, you can't do in either plastic or steel. Over and above that, it's easy to clean glass, it doesn't stain, so why not try it? So we'll make a nice bag and we'll put these glass pieces inside, or the glass containers inside, and see what happens. And it exploded. I mean, we tried that and it exploded. So that's an example of innovation, right? I mean, you already had the product. It just, you kind of uh, gave it in a different setting or in a different context for lunch. And so that's something that came out of nowhere, and no one expected it going into that particular meeting. So I would say it's hard to understand where the next innovation is going to come out of. There are many stories like this. The lunchbox story I gave you. There are many stories like this at Borosil, and I think this will continue. It's more bottom up driven innovation, and we hope that we will find more ways to use glass and, like I said, steel for healthier cooking, healthier carrying food on the go. And I'm sure we'll keep doing that.
Okay, got it. And there's also that rising anti plastic sentiment globally. So, how are you guys at Borosil really capitalizing on this trend?
Yeah, I mean, look, plastic is something that we are against from a perspective of storing food or transporting food in. And we believe that hot food should only come in contact with glass as well as, steel, because there's no leaching, or there's very limited leaching happening. There is, the steel doesn't, or the glass doesn't scratch, and therefore you don't have the remnants of yesterday's food in today's dish. Plus smells are removed from glass and steel, whereas they remain in plastic. And finally, of course, when you come to dispose the plastic, it goes into a landfill, or it goes into the oceans. Whereas in the case of glass, it's 100% recyclable, and there's a large glass recycling already happening in India. So we are completely pro glass, as you can imagine, and I think the trend has already moved. It's no longer a up and coming trend. If you go to even most kitchens in at least metros, or even smaller cities, you'll find that most people have moved out of plastic and moved into glass or steel. And the trend is also seen in gyms. 10, 15 years ago, if you went to a gym, people were carrying these plastic bottles. And now, if you see, most people in gyms are carrying your insulated steel bottles. So we see that trend all around us. I think that trend is already here to stay. And by offering more alternative, the advantage of plastics is you can have really a wide range of shapes and sizes and colors. So if we expand our product offering to offer that, so which gives the aesthetic look, then I'm sure you'll see plastic receding more and more.
And traditionally, brick and mortar, you have also made significant strides when it comes to e-commerce. You got your own platform. You're leveraging on the likes of Amazon, Flipkart, social media. How has your digital push worked and impacted business?
Um, the philosophy here is very simple. You need to be where the customer wants to buy. So it's not really about e-commerce or quick commerce, or it's about being where the customer is comfortable buying from you. So we have seen that there's a lot of products which you don't really need to touch and feel, and therefore you're comfortable buying it with the click of a mouse button. So we figure that it's important for us to be in at those, let's say, points of purchase. So e-commerce, we set up a team back in 2017. We set up our own website maybe a year or two later. We're present in quick commerce as well. So we have dedicated channel managers which look at each separate channel very closely and see where the opportunities lie, because not every product sells on every channel, precisely for the reasons I mentioned. Some people want to touch and feel some products. Some want to just have the convenience of reordering things they're already comfortable using. So I believe that every channel has its own strengths and will continue to do so. So our teams are set up from that perspective. As far as e-com is concerned, it has grown, of course, as online shopping has exploded in India. and it's across categories, I would say. So e-commerce has now become a meaningful contributor to our sales. I don't really share percentages, but I would say it's definitely double digits percentage sales of e-com as well as quick com.
Absolutely. And what about the retail network, your general trade outlets? What are your expansion plans over the next 5 years?
Yeah, so as far as retail is concerned, we are already at about 27 odd thousand unique retailers across India. Our strength has been more in the north and the east of the country, and in the west and south, we've been slightly weaker. So we have been expanding there in the west and the south. We've been adding 2-3 thousand retailers, let's say a year. I think so. In the next 4 or 5 years, if you just do the math, we should hit anywhere between 35 and 40,000 retailers, which is a reasonable base for us to be at. We've never had, for example, South is more steel oriented, and we've only had products for steel in the last few years. So therefore, our product relevance has been lower in the South, which we're hoping to change, or we're trying to change. So even the portfolio drives the retail presence. And that's something that with our enhanced portfolio, we've been seeing more and more interest from a larger variety of retailers to stock our wear. So it's a combination of team size, relevance of product portfolio and brand, which kind of enhances retail, presence. And I think we're in a good way. I think maybe 10 years ago we were at about 8,000 retailers. So in the last 10 years, from 8,000 to 27,000 itself has been quite a substantial growth. And from here, I think going to 40,000 in the next 5 would be a reasonable goal.
Okay, and beyond kitchenware, you're making strides in scientific, industrial, solar gas. Tell us about how each of the divisions fit and what the growth strategy is in place.
So we have 3 listed entities: Borosil Limited, which is in consumer, and whatever we've spoken about so far kind of refers to that. We have another company called Borosil Scientific, which does mainly products for scientific for laboratories, which includes glassware. We do scientific instrumentation for protein, fat, fiber testing, and many other kinds of testing. We also do process chemistry systems for manufacturing APIs for pharmaceuticals, for the defense industry. And finally, we also make ampules and vials, which are pharmaceutical primary packaging used for vaccines, for vaccine distribution. So these are 4 separate product categories within the scientific division. And coming to the Borosil Renewables, which is also a separately listed entity, there we do glass for solar panels. We are India's largest producer of this product, as well as the only producer in the European Union. So we have plants in India as well as in Germany, and we do about 9 gigawatts roughly of solar glass per annum that we manufacture. And now we're just in the middle of an expansion over there. We're going to go from 9 to I think about 13 in the near future.
Sure. And what's your long-term strategy for growth, both in India as well as across the globe?
I think the vision is, our one-line vision statement for the organization is to be the most customer-centric company in India. And as we expand, we'll probably add other parts of the world to that vision. But customer centricity is something I think that we strive for. And as India grows substantially over the next few years, I think staying closer to the customer to hear from him or her, what are the challenges they are facing, and what can we do as a company to solve or to make the life a little bit easier, a little bit more pleasure in their lives. If we can do that, I think we'd be well served. So I think can't say a financial vision. That's kind of a result of what we do. That's only a lag indicator. From a lead perspective, I think the issue is to stay closer to the customer and make more in India, give great service to our customers and great products. And this is across all 3 of our companies. I think if we do that, financial results will follow suit.
Wonderful interacting with you. Thank you so much for taking the time out and joining in.
Thank you.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon to never miss an update from Nirmal Bang.